We are going to be joined right now on the phone by the former New York governor, presidential candidate, George Pataki. Governor, so glad you are here. No one has forgotten that you were governor during 9/11. How do you see the challenges of law enforcement, local and national, in an incident such as this?
Well, I think KT was making a very valid point that a lot of it comes down to intelligence. And you go back to the September 11th report, and they said it was a failure of intelligence, a failure to communicate. And now it's not just the fact that we don't have the foreign sources because of the Snowden fiasco. We also don't have the domestic capability to gather data the way we did just a short period ago. So our intelligence agencies don't have enough information. We still don't control our borders, and we know that it's not just drug dealers and others, but it's also terrorists who want to come through our southern border in particular. And we also, in my view, don't have the capacity to vet people coming from countries like Syria, some of whom, there's no question, want to attack us here. We don't know who caused this incident. In my view, clearly it was a well-organized act of terror, whether it's domestic terror, international terror,
Governor, I'm glad you said
terror.
that, because for the victims and their families, they don't care who killed their loved ones. Those loved ones are gone or irreparably damaged, and as we heard Jolene Kent, my colleague, say, at least one person is in critical condition fighting for his life.
Yeah, and to them, obviously, it doesn't matter, but it was clearly an act of terror. Well, whether it was domestic or international or Islamic, we don't know at this point. Hopefully, we will find out quickly. But in any event, you hear the FBI director say that there are at least in the neighborhood of 1,000 ISIS supporters that they are trying to follow, that there are probably 50 that they think are such an imminent threat that they are following them 24 hours a day. And to think that we're going to add on to this people coming from Syria who we cannot vet properly doesn't make sense. Now, I don't want to imply that this in any way had anything to do with radical Islam. We don't know it at this point, but we do know that radical Islam wants to attack us here. They have in places like Chattanooga. They did at the Boston Marathon. They tried in Garland, Texas. And we have to just be far more proactive, both from an intelligence standpoint and from a security standpoint, and making sure only people come here who want to live and be a part of America are allowed in this country.
So, Governor, on that note, let me ask you something else that KT was kind enough to weigh in on earlier. This idea that for every threatening person, in other words, every citizen who wants to do harm, whether it is a domestic or an international terrorist, whatever label we're going to use, it takes at least 23 law enforcement at a local, at a national, and an administrative level to properly monitor that would-be offender. How do you, from a big picture point of view, you've had to balance budgets, how do we do this?
You don't put a price tag on security and human life. You put whatever resources are necessary to provide for the safety and protection of the people of America. That is the single most important role of government. And I fear that this administration, whether it's in intelligence, whether it's in international relationships, whether it's with our military, or in controlling our border and people coming here, has not made it the priority it has to be.
What do you think, if there is one piece of advice, let's just say you're feeling generous, Governor, that you would give to President Obama right now, what would it be?
Wake up.
It would be that we have got to destroy ISIS and Al-Qaeda's training camps, planning facilities, organizing hubs, social media capability now, before they attack us here. Again, let me repeat, we don't know that in any way they were involved in this horrible, horrible attack. But we know they want to be involved in attacking America again. And we have to be proactive in taking out their ability to attack us here overseas. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to react. And by the way, we also know that Americans have been radicalized by radical Islamists using social media here. We do not have to tolerate that. We have to be far more aggressive, including, if necessary, using cyber warfare against these radical Islamists to shut down their ability to recruit or seek to radicalize people here in America.